Good evening, everybody, and welcome to High Point University. This is the Impact Beyond Life service hosted by our Willed Body program. My name is Izzy Lindblade, and I am an athletic training student, part of class of 2023. I will be leading you through tonight's events, and I cannot wait for the amazing things we have in store for you all. First of all, I would like to thank all of the families for coming here. I know some of you have come from very far away, and we appreciate you for taking the time to come here, and we can celebrate you and your loved ones who have sacrificed so much to the dedication of our students' learning. Second of all, students, I would like to thank you all for being here, as I know this is a busy time. Everybody's in the throes of finals, and we appreciate you taking a break from studying to be with us tonight as well. I was definitely touched by my experience in the program. I took anatomy over the summer, and it had a huge impact on me. I learned so much, and I wanted to give back by helping you through this service. First, I would like to welcome up Amanda Middlestack, who is the director of our program. Let's give her a big round of applause.
Wow. So I think the first thing I need to say tonight is just breathe. This is a really big event for us, for our students, for myself, and I know more importantly for our families that came today. So breathe. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 2021 Impact Beyond Life service. As Izzy said, my name is Amanda, and I am the director of our Willed Body program. To our students, thank you for working so hard to make tonight happen, and for joining us tonight to honor our silent teachers. To our faculty and staff, thank you for supporting the Willed Body program and its continued efforts to bring advanced anatomical education to our students. And to our guests, whose family members we are here to honor. Thank you for entrusting us with your loved ones and for allowing us the privilege to learn from them. Today we honor 39 unique donors. Donors who have silently instructed our students on the external and internal workings of the human body. Yes, we are here to honor them and the ultimate gift they gave our students. But we are also here to honor you, their families, to honor our donors' mothers, fathers, children, their grandchildren, their sisters, their brothers, their aunts, their uncles, and their dearest friends. Without you, our silent teachers would never have entered our doors or begun their journey with us. It was during a very, very difficult moment in each of your lives that you decided to make the choice to pick up the phone, give us a call, and honor your loved one's wish to become something bigger. Without you, without your trust in our program and opening up your hearts to the impact that your loved one could make here at High Point University, we wouldn't be sitting here and honoring our donors today. What you may not realize is that not only did you gift our students with the opportunity to learn anatomy, you also gifted them with the ability to know their donors in a more intimate way than they had ever imagined. Many of you had the opportunity to share with us your loved one's medical information. And while that was incredibly helpful to our students, what resonated with them more is the personal information you shared. What your family member liked to do for fun. What interests them. What were they like and who were they as children or as adults? Why they believed the gift of donation was important to them. Through your stories that I was unable to pass on to our students, you gave our students the ability to see past the physical and notice the important details that made your loved ones who they were. One thing is true about all 39 of the silent teachers that we are honoring today, is that they were all unique individuals who lived their lives to the fullest and gave of themselves to others. which is evident in each of you as you pass their gifts on to our students. So thank you. Thank you for sharing not just your loved one's physical body, but for sharing the truest and most honest and loved and precious parts of them with our students. Thank you, and thank you to our students for coming here today to honor your loved ones.
We're going to start our service off with an invocation by Dr. Dawn Goss. You want to come on up?
This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Will you please pray with me? Dear God, thank you for the gifts from these silent teachers and their families. May they come to realize the immense effect of their loving gifts on hundreds of athletic training, physician assistant, and physical therapy students who will impact the health of individuals and populations in meaningful and significant ways. Our graduates will expertly treat many, many thousands of patients. We thank you for the wonder and tenacity of our students. We thank you for the professionalism of our staff and faculty. We thank you for the leadership at High Point University and the extraordinary facilities that we enjoy learning and growing in. God, please bless all the attendees tonight. We thank you for our ability to gather in this way. Please bless our troops overseas defending our freedom. May everyone travel home safely to their families and enjoy a healthy holiday season and a new year in 2022, knowing that you are in us, you are for us, and you are with us. Emmanuel. Amen.
Now we will have a reading of the poem Knowing You by Caleb Fisher, who's part of our physical therapy class of 2024. If you turn to page 2 in your programs, you'll also find this poem written down.
I'm using the stool too. All right, so I'm just gonna read this poem for you guys. And first, I just want to say thank you to the families. So, knowing you, I do not know the paths you chose to walk down in life, but I have felt the fibers of all the muscles that carried you there. I do not know what made your heart burst with love, but I have pictured how the blood flowed through the 4 chambers of your heart. I do not know what life dreams you had, but I have traced your nerves to see how it was possible for your brain to realize them. I do not know what moments in your life made you sigh with relief or in despair, but I have touched the lungs that held your breath. I do not know the many hands you lovingly held in yours, but I have felt the strength in each of your fingers. I do not know all the burdens you carried on your shoulders, but I have cut through the tension you carried there. I do not know the beauty and brokenness you witnessed in your lifetime, but I have seen how you were able to see the world. I do not know what nourished and nurtured you, but I have met all the organs that worked hard to sustain you. I do not know the children you gave life to, but I have been awed by the inner workings of your womb. I do not know how many times your heart was broken, but I have uncovered the sack that housed your tears. I do not know the lovers who knew you so well, but I have come to know all the layers and spaces of your body. I do not know your name, but before you left, you gave me permission to uncover the miracle of the human body through you. You gave me the gift of knowing you. Thank you.
Now, if you'll turn your attention towards the screen, we're going to have a short video produced by Tyler Cranford, who's part of our PA program class of 2023, about the legacy that our donors have given to us and the legacy we will continue to leave for those that come after us. from Zachariah Chips, whose experience as part of our anatomy classes was unique. He came here as an undergrad and took advanced anatomy, and then he attained his degree in biology in the class of 2020. And now he's back again to get his degree in physician assistant studies as part of the class of 2023. So he's taken anatomy twice, and he's here to share his experience about that.
All right. Good evening. My name is Zachariah Chips, and as previously stated, I was fortunately able to participate in gross anatomy to further my physician assistant education. I attended HBU for undergraduate and had the pleasure of taking the advanced anatomy course during the spring semester of 2020. I will never forget the first day our small class met our silent teachers and the excitement and thrill that came with it. During spring break of 2020, little did we know that the week before was the last time we collaborated with our silent teachers. The course transitioned to an online-only course, and it was just not the same without them. The rest of the class and I did not realize how much we took our silent teachers for granted because anatomy could not be learned the same way. The quote that says, "You don't know what you have until it's gone," perfectly summarized our emotions because we did not realize how much our silent teachers taught us and how much they contributed to our education until we no longer collaborated with them. Now back to gross anatomy. The first day of class in the summer, I had a chance of redemption and a sense of completion when our class was able to learn everything that we could from our silent teachers without any interruptions, of course. On behalf of our advanced anatomy and gross anatomy classes, I would like to say thank you to our silent teachers for your gracious gift of knowledge and for helping to shape us to be the best professionals and providers that we can be. Thank you.
Now we'll hear a reflection from Liam Zachary. Unfortunately, he was unable to be here tonight due to unforeseen circumstances, but he sends his regards and his speech, which I'll be reading for you now. I wanted to begin by thanking all the families here today. Your loved ones' donation has helped to train the future physical therapists, physician's assistants, and athletic trainers of North Carolina and beyond. I also want to thank the DPT class of 2023 for inviting me to participate in this ceremony. I was an anatomy teaching fellow this past summer. I saw firsthand how much the students learned from their donors, and it was a privilege to witness the connections they made with them. I saw all of my students having their aha moment when they would uncover a structure in their donor that they were previously struggling to identify and visualize. This was particularly the case with nerves and vessels, such as the brachial plexus, branches of internal iliac artery, and the pathways of the cranial nerves. I know that this was a formative experience in their educational development, and it will make all of them more exceptional practitioners in the future. I have very fond memories of this experience, and I am sure they do as well. That's from Liam Zachary. Now we'll have a student reflection from Tamia Cofield and Jade Griffin on how the experience made them feel and what they learned from it.
Hello, I will not need this stool, so I'm gonna scoot it over. Hello, families, classmates, faculty, and guests. My name is Tamia Cofield, a first-year physical therapy student, also currently serving as the vice president for the class of 2024. In the words of Alfred North Whitehead, no one who achieves success does so without the help of others. The wise and confident acknowledge this help with gratitude. I want to first start off by saying thank you. Thank you to the families and the donors who provide us with the opportunity to learn, grow, and to become better clinicians. I did not expect to be so impacted by my experience in the anatomy lab. You become invested in your donors' lives, where they come from, and what made them who they are. As we got to the final unit, where we uncovered the face of the body that had been with us through the hardest semester of our lives, a lot of emotions surfaced. Emotions of gratitude, emotions of sadness, emotions of understanding that these donors had lives. These donors had children, families, and jobs, and they chose to donate their bodies to the Willed Body Program. The silent teachers provided us with a unique opportunity, allowing us to have hands-on experience, an in-depth perspective on the human anatomy, all while gaining a greater appreciation for how dynamic and astonishing the human body is. Grateful is an understatement for the feeling we have, for the experience that will be with us on our journey to become successful physical therapists. They will forever leave an impact on the class of 2024. We will be better physical therapists and clinicians and be able to be the change we want to see in the profession of physical therapy. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. In many ways, the donors were our very first patients, and arguably the best patients. They gave themselves fully for the purpose of our learning. It's rare to encounter people who are as generous, vulnerable, and brave to take on the role as silent teacher. We even got the opportunity to get to know them on a deeper level. There was a paper at each station that listed their interests and hobbies that was up every single day for us to see while in lab, which was a constant reminder that these were people just like us. It was endearing to understand what kinds of things your loved ones like to fill their time with and what sorts of things brought them joy, like gardening, spending time with their spouses, dancing, fishing, just to name a few. We could even see how some of these things translated to their anatomy, which elevated the learning experience. While I had a short experience working with donors in undergrad, this was certainly the most impactful. We spent lots of time with the donors for several hours, 3 times a day every week, and even more when there was a big practical exam coming up. We got to know them more and more, increasingly learning about the human body and appreciating the variety of anatomy among them. I was certainly nervous going into the experience, and it was definitely emotionally challenging at times with the knowledge that this was an actual person. But as I got more used to it, I came out of the experience with a plethora of knowledge and admiration for the donors. I couldn't possibly know what I'd do about the human body if it wasn't for our silent teachers. There's no picture, atlas, or diagram that amounts to actually seeing the structures as they are in the body. Whenever I think of where a muscle, nerve, or bone is, I always think of what I learned during my time with the donors, not to any picture. It was the best, most immersive learning experience imaginable, and I'm very lucky to have had this opportunity. So I want to say a big thank you to the families of the donors for allowing my classmates and I to have this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to learn in such a unique but informative way. Nothing has been more powerful in my experience as a student yet than getting to learn from your loved ones in this special way. Thank you.
There we go. Now I would like to talk about the tributes that our Willed Body students have come up with to honor our donors. Over here you can see the tree that we have placed 39 butterflies on. Each butterfly represents one of our silent teachers. And students, I'm sure you remember writing words of encouragement on these hearts. They're placed around the tree to be given back to you guys as well. So at the end of this service, we're going to invite you to come down and pick up a different heart with just some words of encouragement, a last final push for the last couple weeks of school, and for your career beyond that. This tree represents the larger tree of life. I'm sure you've heard of it. It's upstairs. I would encourage you guys to go look at that after the service is over. It represents that tree of life, as well as our general contribution to knowledge, growth, and learning here at High Point. Another gift that everybody at the service will receive is a small butterfly token. You can take that with you as you leave. There'll be baskets by the door. Everybody's encouraged to take one just as a reminder of a family member who may have donated their body, as well as somebody who's donated their body to you to learn. Now, we're going to watch a video of some pictures that families have sent in of donors just to commemorate them. And Luke will also be playing accompaniment for that. Now we will hear a rendition of Bring Him Home from the musical Les Miserables, sung by Nate Nelson and accompanied by Luke Leahy, both members of the class of physical therapy.
I already cried like once, so let's see if I can do this. So the two reasons I chose this song. The first, it's a man praying to someone he loves. Oh gosh. He gets where they're going. And the second verse is the line that says, bring him peace, bring him joy. And I just hope that it brings you joy, knowing that this has not only affected us, but as Dr. Goss said, this is going to affect thousands and thousands of lives going forward with the base of knowledge. that your loved ones are with us. So thank you, and let's see how this goes. Cool.
Got it, Nick.
On high, hear my prayer. In my need, you have always been there. He is young, he's afraid. Let him rest, heaven bless. Bring him home, bring him home, bring him home. He's like the son I might have known. If God had granted me a son, the summers die one by one. How soon they fly on, and I am old and will be gone. Bring him peace, bring him joy. He is young, he is only a boy. You can take, you can give. Let him be, let him live. If I die, let me die. Let him live. Bring him home. Bring him home. Bring him
That was beautiful, y'all. Now let's hear some words of comfort from Reverend Davis, our current minister at High Point University.
Thank you, Izzy. Current minister, do you know something I don't? Is something going on? Faculty and staff, good to see you. Students, I'm the guy who sends the emails on Wednesday. There's a line from St. Paul. He says, you want to know what the spiritually mature life looks like? It looks like outdoing one another and showing honor. And the way that y'all show each other honor this evening amongst each other, the way you applaud each other, the way you celebrate each other as y'all celebrate the families of these donors, it's infectious. It's, oh my gosh, it's like spiritual maturity. Thank y'all for sharing that with us. To the families of the donors, thank y'all for being here. I know some of you, and so I know what a big deal this is. This is no small thing. This is a grand gift you've given us. And I imagine the thing that might mean the most to you is how your gift and how your loved ones will develop these young people. Their compassion, their care, their competence. It is a gift that we'll keep giving. In the brief amount of time I'm with you all this evening, I want to talk a little bit about the stories our lives tell, whether spoken or unspoken. As an ancient saint once said, preach the gospel constantly, if necessary, use words. I imagine silent teachers do that too. They can tell of a life that can be generous, even if they don't have words to do so. A few days ago, I was with an older gentleman. I mostly work with students here at the university, but I was with an alum the other day whose wife had passed away recently, and he had moved to a retirement community, and I'd spent some time with him during the time that his wife had died. And finally got to catch up with him this week and said, well, how are things going? And he said that not good. Not simply because she's gone, that's still hard, but in the retirement community I moved to, they only know me. They don't know her. And because they don't know her, they don't know me. He says, I'm moving back to Ashboro. I'm going back to the place where people know her. And because they know her, they'll know some more of who I really am. And my goodness, it's just a reminder of how deeply intertwined our lives are. That we don't really just want our own story, we want a story that's much bigger than ourselves. We want a story that's going to be wrapped around other people's lives as well, not our own, no. We want to be involved in other people's stories. We want their stories to be part of ours. This morning we had a prayer breakfast where Bishop Greg Palmer was our preacher, and he said something that has resonated with me all day long, and he says, there's nothing in our lives, there's actually no people who have no faith. And so we all have faith, it's just a matter of what you put it in. And whether you speak or not, your life will tell you what you have faith in, actually what you pray to, what you devote yourself to. It'll speak louder than any words will. It'll be written in your clothes, it'll be written in your bank accounts, it'll be written in the relationships you have about what you really have faith in. This program, and Amanda does such a wonderful job with this program, and I'm grateful to be a part of it today. This program actually shares with us that our bodies tell a story. They tell a grand story. I think our culture often is obsessed with glamorous bodies, but this program tells a story about how our bodies might tell a generous story. About life that can keep giving to other lives. About how our life can continue to give well beyond its years and into the lives of others. It's a generous story. This is something that attracts me to the Christian faith, or to the Christian story at least. You're going to get a little bit of this. You got a Christian preacher here today. And you can really tell that whole story about that faith through bodies. There's a people who call themselves a body because they can't tell where they end and another begins. They want to be intertwined with their lives. They want to outdo one another in showing honor. They want to be part of a body. They talk about it that way. It's kind of remarkable. And if you follow the story of Jesus, it's almost all about bodies. Him coming close to bodies that are ignored or devalued or rendered to have no value. Broken bodies, distorted bodies, bodies riddled with shame. And he heals. He comes close. It's intoxicating, that kind of story. That no body is off limits. No body is without value. And then he takes a bunch of nobodies and starts a revolution of love. It's remarkable. And then with his very body, he's wounded and he gives it to humanity. And the story doesn't end there. He brings back that very body and he shows it to the people who left him for dead and says, put your hands here. I don't know quite what to do with that. I love the way Henry Nouwen talks about it. He says, you know what he does? Is that he's a wounded healer. He's a wounded healer. He models for us what we really want to do with our lives, which is to be wounded healers. Families, y'all who are here today to watch your loved ones on screen, I Can't imagine what that was like. But I imagine you see some wounded healers there. Imagine you see people there who've been wounded but continue to heal. And the gift that they provide, High Point University and these students, is the reminder that none of us get out of this thing without wounds. And it also reminds these students that they can be healers too, through the gift that y'all have given. We can indeed be wounded healers here and now, not later. Wounded healers. Greg Boyle started an organization in California called Homeboy Industries. It's an incredible organization. It's for former felons who are re-entering society. It's the largest felon re-entry program in America now. It's remarkable. And it's got all sorts of industries. They had a lot of failures at first, like Homeboy Plumbing. They didn't see it coming that people didn't want ex-convicts in their house. They messed up there. But they do have some incredible ones like Homeboy Bakery, Homeboy Silk Screen Press. It's amazing. It's the largest felon re-entry program in the country. But most of the things what they do is they go on the road and they tell their story about how they find healing, how they thought they were nobodies and they found value simply by someone showing them some love and a job. And one of them, the story gets told that has just haunted me. And Greg Boyle, when he goes, he'll bring some of these folks with him and his partners. And one of them tells the story that when he was very young, that his mother beat him mercilessly. And he would have such wounds that he would wear 3 shirts every day to school so that people couldn't see the blood coming through. And one day his mom abandoned him, and he was abandoned the rest of his life. Never really found his way back until Homeboy Industries. And in front of folks like y'all, he tells this story and he says, today I don't run from those wounds. I run my fingers over those wounds. I embrace those wounds. And it may sound counterintuitive or paradoxical, but he says, how can I help heal others and others' wounds if I don't first embrace my own? It's a wounded healer. It's really what we all want to be. It's really what we get the chance to do here. Families of those who've given their bodies and given their lives for this, thank you. You help inform these young folks, not just in an education, but in a way of being in the world, about what to do with the depths of their lives, that they can continue to give more than they thought they could, that they too can be wounded healers. Will y'all pray with me? Gracious God, for this gift of life that we have and how deeply intertwined it is one to another, where we can't tell where we end and another begins. We are a body, whether we like it or not. And we give thanks for that. It can be deeply painful at times, but that pain only speaks to a deep love that laces us together. Give thanks for this program. It helps educate and inform about who we can be at our core. We come to you by many names. I pray to you in Christ's name. Amen.
Now we'll hear a reading of the poem A Heart That Lives Forever by Rihanna Roy. It's part of our physical therapy class of 2024. If you turn to page 5 in your programs, I believe you'll find this poem written out.
I'm gonna try not to cry or get too nervous, but bear with me, guys. I just want to take this moment to say thank you to the families and everyone here in the audience today for giving me this opportunity to go ahead and read something I've written. And to say this has truly inspired not just me, but everyone in this crowd to do better, to try harder, and to be the best person we can be, because we can only give as much as we have been given, and we've been given the best gift of all. Every great journey starts somewhere, and our start will never be forgotten. When we stepped in these doors, we were a bunch of nervous, ambitious students, sponges ready to absorb all the knowledge we could. Expectations and assumptions for the class we made were based on the title Anatomy Lab. But no one could have ever predicted how much we changed from this experience. From nervous, anxious, and naive students we became closer as classmates, more skilled in our profession, and more confident in our abilities, not just with our knowledge, but in facing the unknown. Excitement, nervousness, respect, heartache, confusion, and gratefulness, curiosity, distress, and anxiety, surprise, eagerness, joy, every emotion you can name, we all faced at some point. Our brains filled with knowledge and our hearts grew in ways we could have never imagined. No one will forget those times and all we experienced thanks to our silent teachers. Anyone can give wisdom or a gift, but it takes a truly special person to selflessly give others the chance to experience something so meaningful, to believe in those they have never met before, to help others better than they were helped. It takes a gifted soul to give others the chance to grow, a better future for all. Words alone could never describe how thankful and blessed we are. We will do our best to honor them and to hold true to the beliefs in our ability to change the future. We thank the silent teachers and their strong families for letting us grow. We will be that much better because of all they've done, and we are forever appreciative. I want to finish this reading off with a quote by someone who's definitely inspired and made me stronger, and I think a lot of you know him, Robin Williams. I do not know how much value I have in this universe, but I do know I made a few people happier than they would have been without me. And for that, and as long as I know that, I'm as rich as I ever need to be. It's because of you guys we are happier with ourselves. We are happier with our knowledge and our abilities to help others. And we are happier to look to the future so that we can provide to them as they provided to us. Now, we may never be able to make the impact that they did on us. We will try our best to give our all, to give our heart, and to give back to every single person we can and every single person we touch to make them happier, so that we've made a different impact the same way they made an impact on us. Thank you.
Now let's listen to a student reflection by Jenna Tomlinson, part of the athletic training class of 2023, about how anatomy classes impacted her.
Hello everyone, I'm Jenna Tomlinson, as Izzy said. I'm going to preface this by saying I'm extremely nervous, but I wanted to show my thankfulness to the families and to our silent teachers, so that is why I'm up here tonight. So I'm currently a first-year student in the athletic training program, and I'd like to begin by thanking everyone for coming to celebrate the lives of our silent teachers. Connection, selflessness, courage, bravery, generosity, and inspiration. Your loved ones gave us insights on all of these and so much more. I remember how I felt at the beginning of June when I walked into anatomy on my first day of graduate school. Nervous, anxious, but yet excited. Every other student and I who were new to anatomy on that Tuesday morning could have never imagined just how influential this experience would be on our education. We are blessed to have the knowledge we now possess of the human body, from its development to functionality to just how beautiful and complex the human body is. To some of you, these donors were your father, mother, brother, sister, close relative, or friend. To us, these donors were our first patients and one of our first teachers in our graduate programs. These silent teachers were a vital part of our education and became a part of our family of peers as well. Though silent, they spoke volumes, taught plenty, and influenced us tremendously. Thank you to all of our silent teachers, our amazing faculty members, our peers, and every one of you who came to celebrate the lives of our silent teachers.
Now we'll hear a different perspective from one of our faculty members, Dr. Susan Ladd, about how teaching the course this summer impacted her.
Good evening. Amanda, wherever you are, thank you for organizing this really touching tribute and for inviting me to be a part of it. I'd like to thank you all for being here, and I'd like to express my deep gratitude to the participants of the Willed Body program, both the donors and their families, for the incredibly generous and important gift provided to our university and community. This gift has significantly contributed to educational, professional, academic, and humanitarian endeavors, and will ultimately improve the lives of many people. Our donors have served first and foremost to educate our students. A thorough understanding of human anatomy is the backbone of health sciences, and these silent teachers have provided the foundational education that will ensure our students become proficient clinicians. No model, lecture, or textbook can replace the unique learning experience a donor offers. As you've heard from several student reflections now, our students develop relationships with their donors that are intimate and sacred. In a way, the donors are their first patients, and establish in them a deep respect for human life, which will ensure they deliver quality health care. Our donors have also served in ways that are less obvious. They have contributed to the progress of scientific knowledge and growing the expertise of our faculty. In the course of our teaching, we anatomy faculty discover new things about the human body and all its possible forms because of the range of variation that our donors demonstrate to us. This improves the level of teaching for future generations of health professional students at High Point. And finally, your loved ones have been integral to the training of future educators. Here at High Point, we have an Anatomy Teaching Fellows program, which brings doctoral students from outside institutions to become part of our teaching teams. Those Anatomy Teaching Fellows will go on to instruct many future clinicians, anatomists, and other health professionals, thus carrying the gift of our donors to many people. This summer was my first semester as course director for the physical therapy program. It was a summer of intense learning, both for the students and for me. And it had me reflecting on my first anatomy course as a student. That was 10 years ago, but I vividly remember my donor, and I still think of him as I reflect on what a challenging but impactful experience that was, and how it has shaped the course of my professional life. I personally feel deeply honored and privileged to lead students through learning about the human body in this special way, and this would be impossible without the generosity of everyone in our Willed Body program. Families, I hope you feel the gratitude of our students and faculty today and feel the importance of the gift that your loved ones have provided to our academic community and our community at large as our students begin to apply their knowledge in the near future. Thank you.
Now we'll hear one more student reflection from Tyler Cranford and Johnny Schmidt, both part of our PA class of 2023.
As previously shown at the video at the beginning of this ceremony, there's a unique legacy that your loved ones left behind in all of our lives. The term legacy simply means a gift that is granted by terms of a will, often a substantial gift, putting a stamp on the future and making contributions to future generations. I want to talk a little bit about that substantial gift that your loved ones left in our lives. A gift is something that is given to another person for the enjoyment of another person's life to carry on their legacy. Our very first patient gave us a substantial gift. It was a gift like no other person could ever give us. And this gift will live on in our lives forever. Our silent teachers have exposed us to the privilege of physicians. Patients open their lives for us to discover, revealing information about themselves that we may be the only ones to know. They allow us to open up their bodies for surgery, trusting that we enter with the intention to heal. After passing, they again permit us to open up their bodies for exploration and education. These bodies signify belief in the ability of medicine to heal and the ability for medical students and other graduate students to learn. Through this experience, I have developed a sense of awe for the complexity of the human body and respect for the impact disease can have beneath the skin. The silent teachers have allowed us to be the first patients that we may care for, and so that we can care for their families and the community around us. I would say that's a very substantial gift. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of your family.
Just to reiterate what everybody else has said before me today, thank you guys so much for being here, both students, faculty, families of our donors, everybody that's here. Thank you so much. I know it can be difficult to settle down, to stop, to think, to grieve, to do all the things we're doing here today, but we're just so grateful that you all can be here to see how much your family members have meant to us. In just a short period of time, we grew so close to them, and we are so grateful for that. Finding a PA program, which offered the opportunity for a dissection was a priority for myself, and I know it was for many of my classmates as well. Even before embarking on the journey that was Anatomy Lab, I felt that I had some grasp on the value and depth it would provide to our understanding of the human body. However, I was unprepared for the emotions we felt when we first saw the silent teachers we would have the opportunity to grow with over the semester. At that point, a wave of reality hits you. The reality of death, the reality of grief at the loss of somebody's father, mother, brother, sister, or friend, and the reality of the great gift this individual provided for us, complete strangers, so that we may learn from the experience and turn suffering into healing. Upon coming to terms with this, we immediately had the experience to read about our teachers' interests and contributions. This feeling of respect and admiration for those in front of us only blossomed as we realized we dealt with veterans, public servants, teachers, and beloved community members. In my opinion, these feelings we were faced with are really just as valuable as the knowledge and experience we gained over the next several months. Because really, these feelings of empathy are at the center of what we do. With every patient we treat, we need to remember this most valuable lesson taught to us first by our silent teachers: to care for everybody we're entrusted to, as if they were our own family member or friend. Thank you.
Now we'll hear a rendition of Put Your Records On by Corinne Bailey Ray, sung by Ahmad Bastine and accompanied by Michael McDermott on the guitar.
Really quick, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out here tonight to celebrate our silent teachers with us. Ahmad and I work together in an anatomy lab a lot, and we grew so much from this experience, and we have nothing but gratitude for everything.
How you guys doing tonight? Everybody here looks lovely and beautiful and handsome. First and foremost, I want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for giving me this opportunity to be around such amazing faculty, amazing staff, and an amazing class of 2024. Most importantly, our silent teachers and our families. You know, as I reflect here and stand here today, I can say that 5, 10, 15 years from now, I'll be grateful for everything that I've learned from my silent teachers. The song that we will be singing today is Put Your Records On. It's a feel-good song to encourage you, to make you feel good. You want to dance, you can do that. So let's go. Let's vibe out. Little bird sat on my window, and they told me I don't need to worry. Summer came nice and the sun was so sweet. Little girl that was up from the concrete. Maybe sometime I won't let go. Gotta love that Afro hair.
y'all. I'm really not sure how I'm supposed to say anything after everything we've seen and heard today. Wow, thank you. So, one thing I love about High Point University is that our university truly believes in the importance of honoring our veterans for their service and sacrifice. As a funeral director, one of my favorite parts of a funeral or a memorial or a committal service has always been the moments where we stop to give thanks to the servicemen and women for their active roles in providing us with the freedoms we have today. A role that not many of us have ever experienced. Sure, we may have heard stories from our families and our friends. We may have seen movies related to active military service and veterans. But for most of us, we will truly never know the full scale of what it means to give yourself fully for your country. So today, I'd like to honor those silent teachers who served our country. Silent teachers who in life gave so much of themselves to others so that we can thrive, and in death continue to do so by providing our students the opportunity to learn so that they can go out into this world and provide a safer and healthier environment for all of us to prosper in. So to our veterans who we honor here today, and to our veterans who are present in today's service, I thank you, we all thank you, and now we're going to play a little video for our veterans.
This concludes the official ceremony part of our evening tonight. I want to thank you all for coming. I have a few things, so stay put for a minute. First of all, I think we should give a big round of applause to all the students and staff who have donated their time and effort to put on this service for us. Second of all, I think a big round of applause is in order for our two musicians of the night. Go ahead and give a wave, gentlemen. I have a few directions. So students, I'm going to ask that you guys hang tight, let all our families head upstairs, and then come down and grab a heart. Families, as you exit, make sure to grab a little butterfly button. There's one for everybody here. And then as you head upstairs, you just go straight up those stairs right there, and there'll be a ballroom with some refreshments served. There'll be some time to hang out, to chat, to interact with students if you would like. There will also be gifts, so look for Amanda. She'll be at a table. Families, we have a gift for you as well. I want to thank everybody for coming. Thank you so much for being here on a Friday evening. And this has been an incredible experience for me. I'm honored to be able to be part of this. So thank you very much. You are dismissed.
Before you go, I also have a little bit of announcement. So to our families, I hope tonight, you heard this word a lot, heal. I hope tonight allowed you to heal a little bit more in your grief. I know that your loved ones have been with us maybe a little longer than you had expected. We certainly all went through a crazy time these past years. And so we thank you for giving your loved ones to us. And we truly do hope that today's service, hearing our students' words, our faculty, our pastors. We hope that this heals you. And I hope that you can see what your donors have done to our students and to all of us. Through their gifts, they brought all these students together, because I can tell you the moment they walked into the anatomy lab, they didn't know each other. And here they are, a group united to learn, to go out into the world, and to give back like your loved one did. So we truly honor and thank you. Now, many of you, we have spoke on the phone about the Tree of Life. So you will find your donor's name inscribed on our Tree of Life, and they will always, always be a part of this university. So you can do two things. One, you can go ahead and grab yourself a fancy student and tell them to take you upstairs, but you're going to go to the 4th floor if you don't want to grab one of the students to help you. When you come out of the elevator, no matter which elevator you choose, you're just going to turn right. If you walk to the end of that short hallway, you will see the Tree of Life, and there you can find your donor or your loved one's name on the Tree of Life. We certainly do hope that you join us for refreshments and take the opportunity to say hello to the students. Students, take the opportunity to hello to your donors' families. It's this connection that truly makes this service what it's meant to be.